We do not dig. Somehow I feel like you're not listening to me.
Literally, like, wear safety glasses. Those things will fly to the moon. I go in there's a pop can that's got paint dripping off of it.
I'm like high on fumes right now. Ah, why is my aim so bad? It's because everything's sticky.
What?
There's tape everywhere. Okay, so I went a little bit overboard. So we have seams that did not line up evenly. Here is a good example of that. So if you look at this and this plank, and how you have this thumbnail gap right there where one sat up higher than the other.
So while not ideal, I think it'll be fine for what we've got going on right now. There's nothing we can do about it. So we're just gonna go ahead and roll with it.
So we had a great suggestion from a viewer. Others concurred that also was something that they had heard of putting painter's tape perpendicular across the seam to pull the planks together. Let me find a good example. Here's a good example. If you take tape and run it perpendicular to the seams. I went a little overboard. There's tape everywhere.
Can you demonstrate perpendicular versus parallel? Perpendicular, parallel.
Okay.
So why are all the boards outlined?
Okay, so here is the example of what we would be doing. And again, it's taking this plank and this plank, pulling them together like this. But I noticed that all of them were kind of wonky as they were drying, and so I put tape on every single seam.
So what color is the floor? Is it green or is it brown?
Let's take this tape up and see if it helped. Sometimes things are all about speed. Is this going to be satisfying? This works. I think it is a phenomenal tip on how to do plank flooring so that you don't have gaps or seams that aren't lining up. So I definitely recommend that. I am wearing a sweatshirt today because here it has gone all of a sudden into the 60s, even like the 40s and 50s at night. So I love this weather, but you know what would be even better is if I could somehow have coffee in front of the fireplace.
Did I hear Mrs. Foro say she wants to sit in front of the fire? I can accommodate that. So hey, the 90s called, they don't want their cables back. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually cleaning this out. Right here's where the fireplace goes. And I'm just making sure that the items that are in here are what are needed. A lot of this cabling and stuff like that, this was for the TV, VCR, audio-visual stuff that was in here. We don't need that right now. Coax, don't need the coax. Don't need random tails off of the zip ties. Cut off your tails on your zip ties, by the way. Little pet peeve of mine. Cut them off. Be tidy. Don't be junky like that. Stop being junky. I'm like a dentist in here. I really hope none of these are live wires. Oh my word, that is terrible. That was absolutely terrible. So what I cleaned out from behind there is this right here. Coax, some VCR TV, speaker wire, miscellaneous other wires, some ground wire. Like I said, just took out all the extra that we did not need. So behind that is super clean. We're gonna call it super clean. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, it looks so good.
Oh wow, look how nice that fits right there. Hey, come on down here, Sarah. Look at this. What?
What happened?
I kind of feel like the south end of a northbound horse right now because this, I'll just cut a piece and fill that in. Don't want to leave a notice.
I will.
But I need to go get my tape measure and make sure I'm using not the boys' tape measure, but a real man's tape measure.
They have real men's tape measures.
That's
not
the problem.
really a good excuse.
Let me go grab the kids' tape measure. Maybe that'd be better. We are gonna go ahead and put this right here. My thickness of wood, when I use the table saw, I should have had a saw stop like Evan at Country View Acres, but I don't, so I've got kind of a little bit of a taper effect going on with this one. So I may take this board off right here and see if I can get one that's the same thickness, because this kind of tapers down. When I was running it through my table saw, it wasn't quite straight. Might have to do that. But what we're gonna do right here is fill that in with a piece of wood, bring it across the corner. We'll see how that all goes, but not happy about that right there. This is up. This is a 1x that we basically ripped in half. So you do the math on that. That's called a 1x ripped in half. I am marking right now so I can take a measurement and cut all of my boards an inch too short, which I did over there. So that's fine. I just go to the shed and rip a new board down, a new $10 board, ripping it. So this right here is kind of like what the chair rail would be going around in a cove, cozy cove. So that's what this is for. Trim, chair rail, beadboard. We'll have a baseboard. We're making progress. So we've got the windows right here trimmed out. They're just dry fit right now. I've not glued them on because I'm gonna glue them to this wall to give them that extra. If this was a house, I'd leave it. I just Brad nail it on, be good. But since this is gonna be going down the road, I thought I would go ahead and glue it and nail it, and that's where we're gonna be. I'm already worried. Let me tell you a little story about what I'm worried about. I'm worried about on the first adventure we take JD on, we hook up the hitch. It'll be a stormy night. We'll hook the hitch up. We'll clasp those jaws around that fifth wheel pin. And then we'll go. We'll get to the highway, about 2 miles away. I'll be like, Sarah, I'm gonna go back and check to make sure everything's okay. And I'll come inside. And this beautiful roof that we put on, pickup sticks sitting on the ground, trim falling off, refrigerator laying over, fireplaces all around, flooring's all like this. So that's not a rot spot, that's a spot where the boys were painting in the shed. I go in there, there's a pop can that's got paint dripping off of it that's drying. So, little remnant of the boys. Just test fitting, that's all we're doing with this piece. So if you happen to have on your camper these type of windows, right there, I'm gonna zoom in, hair, whatever those are called, but windows that open like this, I will show you what we ended up doing on the inside here. So what we ended up having to do was...
Okay, hold on. This is not a tutorial, and we have other things to do.
Sarah, I scoured the internet trying to find this information. They're gonna wanna see this.
Fine, I will put it at the end. I promise you it will be at the end.
Watch the end.
Watch the end.
Do you guys know the problems I have had with paint? This does not look like the paint that I was using before. And that is because it's not. This is a new miracle product, according to Instagram. You guys know how much I was not happy with the paint that I used, so I wasn't super excited about doing it on the cabinet doors that are gonna get a lot of wear and tear and fingerprints and everything, and I wanna wash them more. So, enter this so-called miracle product. I'm gonna let you know for real if this is what I want it to be, how it works, and you will get to see along with me. I'm hoping that the bright white matches the white that I already painted the frames of cabinets. As you can tell, it is way thicker. So what I'm supposed to do with this is use a stippling motion, which is great because I really don't love painting with a brush anyway. So we're just supposed to stipple anywhere that you aren't going to be able to roll. I don't know, I have such high hopes for this. Really high hopes for this because I'm really ready to be done with painting. You will notice there are a few flaws in the cabinets. We sanded them, we primed them. Some of those cracks showed up even after we sanded, where I thought that it was good. The boys did the sanding with electric sanders and hand sanding. I thought it was totally good, and it still like cracked through the primer. So we'll see. Difference with this is that this is a bonder. It's bonding, priming, and painting all in one. So with our previous paint, we didn't have a bonder in it. This is supposed to make it even better so it adheres better. That is not as amazing as I thought it was gonna be for my first test. Maybe I just need to do my usual and put way too much on and then be surprised. Do you see me wiping the paint on the carpet that's gonna be hiding under the bed? So if you notice this spot right here, where my paintbrush is, right here, that's gonna show texture no matter what I do because I had already sanded and painted, and this is actually paint off of this door that I was using to paint on because it got stuck to the door, and I don't want to go through the whole process of sanding and cleaning and all that again. So we're just gonna understand that that's the inside of a cabinet door, and I am going to be okay with that. Also, I'm crammed in here in an obviously uncomfortable spot with not the best lighting because it's the only truly unfinished spot now, and I don't want to get paint on my new flooring, even though it's not perfect flooring. That doesn't mean that I all of a sudden want to have paint splatters because, let's be honest, I am not the nicest, calmest, neatest painter. Just a painter, and it's good to know your strengths and weaknesses and not put yourself in situations where you might make the worst of the situation. Mr. Forrow said, "You're not the calmest in just painting," or ... obvious in his voice. Okay, so I am gonna tell you, I have all the windows open. I'm like high on fumes right now. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm not partaking of the fumes. I'm not high as a kite. He's not helpful. I'm not huffing anything. Those are all bad things to say. I am noticing how incredibly strong the fumes are. Okay, so this is supposed to be a self-leveling paint that just settles into the texture of what you have. So it's like great for natural wood. So maybe that's not great for a surface that peeled off of something else that someone's like, oh, I'm not gonna care about it because it's the inside of a cabinet. Oops. Okay, so I started with amazingly high hopes for this, and my hopes are down to like moderately indifferent. Also, I kept thinking, what did they have? Cats in here? There's like a couple black hairs that I keep seeing popping up in my paint. It's Trinity hair. Trinity hair. This one right here is one of the cabinets that was originally teal. This color, it was this color. So it has already been primed on the front side, but I had not primed it on the back side. So this is the teal color coming through that you're seeing because it didn't have any primer in the first place. But again, this product is not supposed to need any primer. It's supposed to be bonder, primer, and paint all in one. So we will see. I don't know, like I said, my initial excitement for the Wonder product has definitely diminished.
I wish I could say that I didn't expect much when I started this, but that's totally not true. I expected a whole lot. But like all things that you see on Instagram, they're not all amazing. I don't know about this, so I don't have my final verdict yet because I don't have a second coat of paint. I will let you know when I do that second coat of paint. Perhaps I will be like blown out of the water, absolutely amazed. But for now, I'm leaving it as the paint that surprised us in ways that I'm not quite sure yet.
All right, welcome to the Cozy Cove. That is where we're sitting currently. We wanted to give you an update to kind of let you know what we've got going on. We've got the Cozy Cove mostly tidied up. We have some loose ends that we need to button up.
But
on
there's
that.
bad news.
Bad news.
While we sit in the Cozy Cove and look at the fireplace that's crackling in the background, it's not really crackling, but going in the background, I'm looking that direction and all I see is mess. mess in the kitchen, mess where the kitchen's supposed to be, but we ripped it all out. That has to be fixed.
Yep. So next week, that's what we're gonna be tackling. Countertop, basically we're gonna be building a base cabinet.
Refrigerator. Oh my word, you don't even know how bad the refrigerator search has been.
You guys have had some great comments.
Yes.
A lot of people were saying keep the countertop. Some people were saying move it. Some people were saying keep it. We were really torn. So we love that you guys are giving us comments and interacting with us. We love to interact with you guys. We still don't know exactly what we're gonna end up doing. We have an idea. We're leaning towards leaving. You'll have to find out.
You'll find out.
Tune in next week and find out.
What we're leaning towards is making it a nice kitchen.
That's what the goal is. But as far as for a harvest update where we're at the 4-row farms, we have got soybeans out. We had 82.178. 80 point. What did we have?
I don't know.
I think we had 82.
We got it out at a
Yeah,
good
we got
time.
the soybeans out.
We got it delivered.
Yield-wise, in case you guys want to know, it was 53 bushel to the acre. Moisture was 11.6, so moisture was right spot on.
And if you didn't know, we did have hail, and our beans completely got hailed out, and we had to replant. So we were really blessed that we had the yield that we did. We were not expecting it to be that good.
So we had very timely moisture. The summer was good for the growing. And like I said, typically when you plant beans, I guess that late, we planted them the end of June. They have a hard time maturing because we have frost that could come and bite us. But this year was a blessing that frost held off. So our beans averaged 53 bushel, 52.998. I'm gonna be optimistic and give you a fish story and tell you I got 53 bushel to the acre.
It's a big fish story.
But at the end of the day, like I said, it ended up being better than what we thought it was gonna be from a soybean perspective. The prices are not good. There was a comment that we had that was asking about that if we have a place to sell them. Yes, the grain elevator in town, the local elevators will take beans. It's just if you want to accept the price that they're doing. I don't have any grain storage, so at the end of the day, I have to haul them somewhere.
Right.
I can't just leave them in the field. I can't just pile them in the road ditch.
Obviously.
So it ends up being I had to haul them to town, and like I said, so it's a matter of right now we're trying to see the market fluctuates day to day. It can equate to thousands of dollars one way or the other. One day swing $600. So it's like where do you decide to do that? I can't command more for my beans because I feel like my beans are more round than someone else's beans.
We don't have a choice in that.
My beans are in a big pile at the local elevator.
Round beans.
The soybeans are round.
More round than someone else's.
Yeah. Hashtag pioneer.
My beans have a better color and they are more round.
Wow, that really took the round bean comment. So that's where it's at for the harvest. We're done with beans. Like I said, now I just got to make a decision on the marketing standpoint of when we sell them. But like I said, yes, there is markets that will buy those. I know in the news right now they're talking about that soybeans, you can get rid of your beans. You can sell your beans. There's elevators that will buy beans. It's just a matter of if you're willing to accept the price that they're willing to pay. I don't have grain storage, so I can't hold on to those beans and sell later. Maybe at some point we could have some grain bins, but we will see down the road. Not right now.
Thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Oh, hold on.
What?
Bad news. More bad news. Sarah said we're adding too much weight to JD, thus, hitherto, I can't go with them.
This is all lies. I did not say any of that. I said, do you think we're adding too much weight? As I look at like all of the beautiful stuff we're putting in, the ceilings, the floors, this cozy cove, but I'm like, we're gonna put in more stuff, even more, when we go to the nose. So is it too much weight? And he's like, oh, it's no different than like a 300-pound person standing in here. I'm like, yeah, but that 300-pound person, does that mean we don't get to take as much water? And he's like, oh, you won't get to take as many shoes?
She was asking how hard it is to pull a fifth wheel. And so I think we're just gonna keep adding weight so that she can't just hook up and leave. But at the end of the day, we are being cognizant of the weight that we're adding to JD.
Yeah, like, oh, it's a 300-pound person. Well, no, it's a 400-pound person. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe Sarah won't be able to bring all of her shoes. Because you never know. Because on an adventure, we may decide to hike, and then we may decide to go to a beach, and so you might need flip-flops.
And surprise, maybe we have to dress up for something.
You might need to
bring
bring
a pair of heels.
Formal.
You never know.
Anyway. We'll quit rambling. Thanks for watching. And like I said, remember to comment, like, and subscribe.
We will see you next week.
Peace
out.
There there was a desk that was right along here. So I think over time, you can see right there where the desk had kind of worn its spot there. So bouncing down the road over multiple miles, I think it just broke this old clip off. So what we ended up doing was buying a new opening mechanism. It was called Operator, left hand, 1 3/4 inch, hole spacing, ended up going over here. Tell me this. This window is on the right side. The opener is on the right side of the window, but yet you use a left-hand opener. So just so you guys know, the part number is like R7020. It is Prime Line specialty product. I got it off of Amazon. Wasn't too terribly priced, but this window did not open. Now it does. So there's some C-clips that are back here on these little opening arms. What you do is you pop those C-clips off. It's kind of like a 10mm wrench. They get lost. So the C-clips, make sure when you pull them off, they're on a spring and they'll kind of pop out. They're not on a spring, but they kind of have a spring action to them. They'll fly all over, literally, like wear safety glasses. Those things will fly to the moon. But you take those little C-clips off, you can pull the little arms off, and then what you do is there's 3 bolts or 3 screws that held this onto the frame over here, like this. I went like this. And then what I did was I pried down on this to get this down onto this track. Of course, you got to take the screen out. First note, take the screen out. Then this was able to come down. Then we put this back on. So if you look on that right there, there's a little mechanism in there that kind of spins this shaft, and the shaft is what pushes that window out. So got that back on there, wedged it up in there, pushed it up. There's a black spacer in there that you end up fitting so that the hook on it goes into the track. And basically what it's doing is pushing this thing out a little bit, just kind of giving a little bit of a backing. But yeah, you push that back up in there. I did not use the screws that came with it. Excuse me, I did not use the screws that they had originally from the factory. I could not get them to line back up. So instead, I used the ones that were from the kit. And this is actually one of them right here. I used 2 different kinds of screws. I used I guess I used kind of a wood screw on the top because it's kind of a bear to get up into. I had to use this really long screwdriver. Look at that. That's like obnoxiously long. But it ended up being, I used this, came across from the outside, went up there, unscrewed the top screw from the factory one, and then started it in. Used my drill with a longer bit because I had a square. I went to a square head on the top one, ran that in, and then on the bottom ones, I did end up using these screws. So they're a little bit longer than the ones that are on the factory, but if you look right here, it's just gonna go into the styrofoam. That's all it's doing. It's just going over there into the styrofoam. Got a really good bite on that. But now this window works, guys. So right there, if you've got the H-E-H-R, window, and it quit working, something broke in this mechanism, whatever, like I said, check it out. Amazon has the parts. But if you're looking at the right side and it's driven from the right side, more than likely you're gonna need the left hand. And my assumption is if you're on the left side and the left one is where it's driven, you're gonna need the right hand. Thanks for watching.